Thank you for staying with the Friday Briefing. Always a pleasure. It's about that time where we get to learn proper pronunciation. So without further ado, I'm sure you're ready for Mind Your Language with Willice the Word Master. Let's cross over for some proper pronunciation.
Well, dear viewers, I now welcome you to your favorite segment, that is Mind Your Language, the segment that brings to you the good English pronunciations. We are talking about RP, that is Received Pronunciation, the standard form of British pronunciation based on educated speech. But I have to begin by fulfilling last week's promise, the tricky letters in the English alphabet. The first one, you say A. Don't say A. The second one, you say H, not H. No. The third one, you say W. But remember, you can also say W or W. So 3 acceptable names of that letter. W or W. Then we have another tricky letter in the English alphabet because it has alternative names. That is the last one. You say R, and you can also say R. So get them right because it's very important. And remember, when you recite letters of the English alphabet by saying A, B, C, D up to Z, you are using the names by which the letters, which are symbols, are identified in that alphabet. And an alphabet is a fixed arrangement of letters that are used to write a language. Getting that right, we now go to our collections of the week. And the first word is right here. When you look at it, you may find yourself saying libel, and many people innocently say so. Libel, no. You say libel. And we are talking about the act or fact of printing a false and damaging statement or report about somebody. You say libel, not libel. Then we get to the next word, it right here. That account of somebody's life and experience, especially somebody who is popular or famous. That account, you call it memoir. Don't say memoir or memus, no. Memoir, a memoir. That is the pronunciation. Then we get to that book that contains groups of words with the same or very close meanings. Now, you say thesaurus. Don't say thesaurus, don't say thesaurus, don't say thesaurus. No, you simply say thesaurus. That is the pronunciation. Then let's get to a word that is common nowadays, but what is important for you to understand is we have a silent or the H. That H, the H is silent. The H in this word is silent. So you say air. Don't say hair. Hair, no. Air, because H is silent. Then let's get to the next word. Fairly tricky. This one, you say requisite. Don't say requisite. Requisite and all that. Requisite. That which is considered necessary for a particular purpose. Necessary for a particular purpose, you say requisite, not requisite. Requisite, no. Requisite. Then let's get to the next word. It right here. It means true or correct in every way. Usually people use it as a response. So what we find ourselves saying sometimes, in fact, before even I tell you what we find ourselves saying, can you try it wherever you are, dear viewers? Can you try to say this word? I know there are those people who have found themselves saying exactly, no, exactly or exactly, but don't say exactly, just avoid that. Then let's get to the next word, connected with the position or title or role of a minister. That is what this adjective means. But you say ministerial. Ministerial. We have minister, but the adjective is ministerial in pronunciation. Are we together? You say ministerial, not ministerial. Many people say ministerial, but that is not the way. Ministerial. Then let's also get to this one. We have the word strategy. Strategy. But this one, you say strategic. Strategic, not strategic. The way we commonly say because of what we hear around us much, especially locally. Strategic is the right pronunciation. Avoid strategic, especially in careers of serious communication. Then, let's get to another word, and I want you to try this one. I humbly request you, dear viewers, to try saying this word. Well, you say default. Default. Don't say default or default. Default, default, no. You say default. Now, let's get to another one. We have the verb prefer. Prefer, but don't say preference. Preference, no. You say preference. Preference or preference, but avoid saying pre when you are dealing with this word. You say preference or preference, not preference. But the verb is prefer, to prefer something to another thing. Now, let's get to our feedback, because I know at this moment those who have sent in words throughout the week are really waiting to also hear the way we pronounce the words that they sent in. Now, we begin by this person who really loves Mind Your Language, and he is Malik David of Nairobi. You say pawn, P-A-W-N, pawn, just like lawn, lawn tennis. Don't say lawn tennis, no. Pound, no. Lawn tennis, then pawn, the pawn. So, Malik David, I hope you get that right. We have Emily Tarus and Nancy Chepchumba, both of Kericho. You say partial, partial. And the second one, impartial. So, partial and impartial. Then we have Lawrence Otieno. You say lighting, lighting. Kenya Power and Lighting Company. Not lightening or lightning, no. Lightening, no. Lightning, no. You say lighting. Kenya Power and Lighting Company. So Lawrence Otieno, catch that and get it right. Koa Frederick of Mombasa, you say cat. Simply cat. Paka. Cat. C-A-T. Avoid cat. Cat may sound unique, but please, if you're keen on the accurate pronunciation of that word, just say cat. Just like B-A-T, bat. B-A-T, bat. R-A-T, rat. Rat, not rat. Not bat. Not cat. Simply cat. Then, Mwalimu Manyasi, you say pigeon. Pigeon. Don't say pigeon. Many people say pigeon. But please, that word is pronounced pigeon. Pigeon. Then Emmanuel Waliuba of Nairobi. Oh, I think I focused on, or I handled this word last week. Alibi. Alibi. So please just say alibi, Emmanuel. Now, Dr. Peter W. Sola, if you like, Saula of Moi University, Eldoret. By the way, you say university. City, not ziti. Ziti, no. University. So, Dr. Peter W. Saula or Sola of Moi University, Eldoret, you say demeanor, demeanor. And the second word, we also handled it last week. You say heist, heist for robbery. Then John M. Waidaka of Nyeri, ma. Then your second word, panacea, panacea. Don't say panaki, panachi. Panaki is P-A-N-A-C-H-E. But your word, P-A-N-A-C-E-A, you say panacea. That is the way to pronounce that word. Mwalimu Solomon Abayo. Yes, Solomon Abayo, keep it up, because this is KTN and the segment is Mind Your Language. Your word, owners. Owners. O-N-U-S. Owners. Now, we have Lady Anita of Nairobi. This lady, well, you say shove. Shove, not shove. When push comes to shove, shove, S-H-O-V-E, shove. Don't say shove, but many people find themselves innocently saying shove. Moses shauri, yes, you say coccyx, a very tricky word, coccyx. Then Eldoret Pandit, Mwatate Finest, Dennis Obura, Marianne Mwikali, Philip Luther, and we have also Ndiwa Finest, as well as Daniel Ochetet. Ochetet, your name is a bit tricky, but names sometimes can be very tricky. Ochetet. Daniel, you say exactly what you've said right there because I've seen what you wrote. So what you say, just say buffet when it's a meal, buffet. You get it right? Yes. Now, we have Brian Bella, bizarre. Paul Sambo, inquiry, inquiry or in or in. You can use the two soundings. Inquiry or inquiry. You can use that. Then we have Kiarie Pete. Pete Kiare, don't say Pete. It's Pete. That name, P-E-T-E, you pronounce it as Pete, not Pete. Pete Kiarie, you say cash. You are right. Cash, C-A-C-H-E, cash. Then C-A-S-H, cash. So the two words are homophones. Different spellings and meanings, but you pronounce them the same way. Then we have Mwalimu Vidija Dalizu, Wilson Javan Murono, and Cornelius Osiango. Hierarchy. Hierarchy. That is in British English. But in American pronunciation, you would hear hierarchy. Hierarchy, American. Hierarchy. That is British pronunciation. Then we have Penti Kanyango, a.k.a. Jarodi. You say parliament. Parliament. That I is silent, just like in the word friend. You don't say friend. Parliament. Friend. And then your last word, you say government. Government. Then we have somebody here by the name Liz Afro. Liz, you say the. When that article comes before a word that begins with a consonant sound. Consonant sound. Just like the boy, the pen, so you say the when the next word begins with a consonant sound. That definite article, you pronounce it as the in that case or that context. But when it comes before a vowel sound, just like before the word elephant or accident, you now say the. The accident, the elephant. And for stress or emphasis, you say the. Here comes the Mike Tyson and all that. Then we have the next person here is Martha Kema, Katite Kadzo. Oh, you're many. Martha Kema, Katite Kadzo, Charles Kithinji, Mary Chwea, Mutinda Kitili, and Mburia Evans. You say fiery. Fiery, not fiery. That is F-I-E-R-Y. Fiery. A fiery politician, a fiery debater. Now, don't say fiery, and all that. Then we have the next person here is Rose Wali Mganga of Mombasa, Francis Kalindi, Kipchirchir Limo, Sylvester Momanyi, Jafar Osman, and Norman Makoha. Keep it up because it only comes to you from KTN. That is mind your language. So you say that is mind your language. You get it right. Now, let's get to our surprise word for tonight, and it is right here. Now, the surprise is this word is pronounced in two different ways. The first pronunciation is common, especially locally. You say vacuum, vacuum. But get it right from me that you can also pronounce this word as vacuum, vacuum. So vacuum is acceptable. Vacuum or vacuum. So that is the way to go. Then we have confusing words. I have three for you. The first one, list. L-I-S-T. List. The list. Top on the list. Don't say top on the list. List, no. For L-I-S-T, you simply say list with a short sound E. List. But then the next one, you say least. Least. At least. At least. Then finally, also the past tense or past participle of the verb lease, you also say least. Least. So the two last words are pronounced the same way, we call them homophones. You get it right? Good. Now, let's get to that part of words that are tricky in spelling. I always say you can always interact with me throughout the week, but that word interact has a single R or R. Don't use double R or double R. It has only a single R, and that is the right way to spell it. So, don't use R, use just a single R. That is about spelling for tonight. Then, let's get to words that have been asked about by many people. Now, we have three words: B-O-W, R-O-W, and S-O-W. Now, the first one, when you bend, especially in prayer, you bow, to bow. But when you are shooting an arrow, you say bow, the bow, to shoot an arrow using the bow. So, bow to bend, bow for that crude weapon. Then the second word, R-O-W. You say row, row, when you're talking about an arrangement like chairs or benches, row, a row in class. You also talk of row, or you say row, when you are talking about moving the boat, to row the boat, row. But when we have a dispute or conflict, please don't say row. You talk of row. You now pronounce the same word as row, not row. So political, row; land, row; marriage, row. Then finally, we have S-O-W. You say sow when you are talking about planting, to sow. But please, for the female pig, the same word is pronounced as sow, sow. We are talking about homographs for those who understand. Now, let's get to phonetic or sound symbols. As I promised, tonight we have the long, low, back sound O, the long one, O. Just like in the word port, port, then taught, taught, and warm, warm water. Now, a warm welcome. So please, the symbol is right here. This is the symbol of the long sound O. If you like to be a bit particular, you say the long, low, back sound O. So those who love phonetic symbols, here you are. But remember, they can also help you to understand how to pronounce a word, because they are the symbols that are used in good dictionaries or dictionaries to guide you on how to pronounce words. Now, next week, something will be there which you love so much. And this is where I know many people would say, yes, Willice, tonight you've done something. That promise would be a great one. We have to catch it next week only on KTN. So, the first one, we have few, new, few and new, followed by chew. Don't say chew, chew, to chew sugarcane. Then the next one, we have flew. Don't say flew, flew. And then lastly, this word is tricky, the last one, so. Don't say sew or sue. It's actually pronounced so. But now, next week, I'll guide you on how to pronounce them, because they are very confusing. You don't know when to say chew or chew, brew or brew, crew or crew. I'll actually bring the words just on behalf of what we exactly do here, or on behalf of Mind Your Language as your favorite segment. I'll ensure that I bring the words so that they can guide you on when or which one to pronounce in which way, only on KTN. Otherwise, you can also interact with me throughout the week, and the Twitter handle is right here at Willice Ochieng 1. Otherwise, it's that time when I take you back to Nairobi, but on behalf of my cameraman Fred Moturi, we have to thank you in a very big way and most sincerely for getting time to watch Mind Your Language. Back now to Nairobi.
Well, Willice, it's always a pleasure. I'm sure we've learned a couple of new pronunciation to words. I didn't know about chew. Chew. Ulisikia wapi?
Oh my God. Anyway, that's how we wrap things up here on the Friday briefing. Thank you very much for joining us and staying with us all through the broadcast. I'm Ashley Mazuri, our sign language interpreter is Marisha Uti.
And I'm Jesse Rogers. Many thanks for watching. See you tomorrow morning. Good night.